Un gusto saludarles a todos. Mi nombre es Jorge Badillo y soy miembro del directorio del Instituto de Auditores Internos de Chile. En esta ocasión tengo la grata posibilidad y la oportunidad de entrevistar a Bruce Dorris, quien es presidente y CEO de la Asociación de Examinadores de Fraude Mundial, ACFE. Bruce, thanks for staying with us here, and it's a pleasure. Well, Bruce, I have like 3 questions for you during this interview. The one is, which are the most important or significant fraud risks for now and in the next years that are coming now? Which are the frauds that you see that are the most important ones?
I think one of the biggest fraud risks affecting so many businesses and organizations relates to artificial intelligence and machine learning. I mean, we're having to deal with deep fakes, generative AI, when you see chat GPT being able to produce so much volume of work in just a matter of seconds, and this artificial intelligence learns from itself. And I think that fraudsters are using this to be able to infiltrate financial institution systems, being able to use deep fakes for audio to get clearance to get access to accounts and that type of account takeover. There are so many things that machine learning will be helpful to the audit community, but also many fraudsters are going to use that to their advantage. And I think that's the biggest risk on the horizon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because in the last years, we usually hear about the cyber attack risks, the cyber fraud risks, but now we are maybe in a new wave, like the digital transformation of the fraud, something like that.
Well, I mean, when you think about an intrusion, a hack, we would think of in the more institutional sense. Now, if you look at it from historical reference, business email compromise, that type of social engineering, that is what the artificial intelligence and machine learning will be trying to do, is essentially doing social engineering to get past the controls that we have in place. And so we have got to be prepared to look for that, trying to have some type of computer analysis on whether or not is this a human being or is this a machine that is talking to us. There's a lot of work to be done, but it is one of the frauds in the future that we have to be wary of.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because as you say, the new technologies in artificial intelligence could help a lot to the good guys, but of course could help a lot to the bad guys as well.
Yeah.
Bruce, another question. Which are the most effective or key anti-fraud controls that you recommend to the companies? Maybe the key ones that should be there to fight against the fraud.
Well, I think one of the most important ones to this group is internal audit. Having a good, strong internal audit function is critical to any organization because they're the ones who are best informed to advise to the controls, not just within fraud, but the entire risk of any type of enterprise. But they understand, because of the mandate, through the principles of having the fraud risk and being able to do something about it from the internal audit function. But even for those of you who are watching this are not even in internal audit, the best control to put in, and the most inexpensive, is a hotline. And having a good whistleblower hotline, when you look at the Report to the Nations, our global fraud study, consistently whistleblowers or hotlines are the most effective fraud tool to uncover frauds in an organization. Second in there is typically internal audit, but the highest is the hotline, so that whistleblowers can call it. Typically, it is an employee calling in to talk about wrongdoing that they've seen in an organization.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for that comments about the importance of internal audit in relation to fight against the fraud in the organizations. And definitely, I totally agree, like the importance of whistleblower to fight fraud within the organizations.
And in fact, as part of our partnership with the IIA Global, we actually have a best-in-class whistleblower program paper coming out very soon that demonstrates. So we have gone in and asked certified fraud examiners as well as internal auditors of what they recommend to be a best-in-class whistleblower program for hotlines within their organization. And we'll be releasing that jointly very, very soon.
Oh, great! For that information. Good to know about this coming soon document about whistleblower best practices executed between IIA and ACFA. And talking about these two organizations, global organizations, maybe you can share with us some information about this synergy through the time at this point. Something is coming.
Yeah, we've been working with IIA, as you know, for years. But over the last year, we really wanted to bring fraud to the attention more with members of the internal audit community. So we started working with Anthony as he came aboard as president and CEO, and Brad, really trying to help give more to the internal audit community about the fraud risks that are associated with it. And one of the surveys is within the IIA Global, when they first came on board with their roles as president and CEO, or his role as president and CEO, was to ask, what is it that you could use more of? And part of that was the risk of dealing with fraud. And so our prior relationship, we decided to have this partnership in order to bring even more tools at the disposal of internal audit. We've done a number of webinars in the past. We have this position paper that's coming out with whistleblowers, and plan to do so much more in the future and as you mentioned, having that synergy between the fraud examination and the internal audit function. If they're separate in an organization, or if an internal auditor they have to do that. That's their work. Is many internal audit functions across the world have to they handle fraud by themselves. And so giving them the education, giving them the tools and the training that they need makes them a much better internal auditor. And we're happy to provide that and be part of that.
Right now, thank you, Bruce. Really good news, because this is a natural synergy through the time, and good to know that we will maintain, strengthen this relation on benefit of the internal auditors, the fraud investigation professionals, and finally the organizations around the world. Well, thank you so much, Bruce. It's a pleasure to stay with you here in this Risk in Focus event in the IIA Chile. Thank you so much.
It's great to be here and great to be a part of these events, and I'm happy that you had me down here. And congratulations to you on being with the board with IIA coming forward.
Oh, thank you so much. Bueno, muchas gracias, amigos. Esta ha sido la entrevista con Bruce Dorris, presidente y CEO de ACFE. Un gusto y un saludo.